Okay, so here is from the Indiana State Police Peru Post. Their latest update, you can see it was just posted 11 minutes ago at the time of this recording that I'm making, which is on July 3rd of 2024. Of course, I'm in Switzerland, so the time doesn't really matter. It'll be different for everyone. Anyway, so they say Indiana State Police seeking public's assistance in locating endangered Cass County juvenile Bryson Muir located. Oh my word, thank goodness. So they say final update. I wonder why they say final update. Are they not going to tell us if there's any arrests made, anything else, or that's it? Final update. This morning at approximately 6 a.m., members of the Indiana State Police SWAT team executed search and arrest warrants, both issued by the Cass County Circuit Court on Daniel and Kristen Muir's residence. That's the parents, located at 1740 West US Highway 24, Logansport, Indiana, which, by the way, is alleged to be like a religious compound that is connected to Straitway Truth Ministries, which is alleged to be a cult. Again, we've gone over all of that in the backstory. The operation led to the discovery of Daniel, Kristen, and Bryson Muir at the home. He was at that home the whole time. These parents saw everyone concerned, sharing this in the news, talking about where is Bryson? His grandmother desperately looking for him. And they just had him at the home. Bryson was the subject of a silver alert, which was issued on June 28th of 2024. In my opinion, far too late if he was last seen on June 16th. You know what I mean? Why did it take so long? But okay. Daniel and Kristen Muir were taken into custody without incident and remanded to the Cass County Jail. Oh, they cuffed them. Okay. Bryson Muir, who appeared safe and well, was released to the care and custody of the Cass County Department of Child Services. Shame, man. I hope his grandmother is able to collect him. I hope that his grandmother can take care of him. Oh my word. Okay. Arrested and charges. Daniel T. Muir. He's a former NFL player, if you did not know. Okay, 40, Logansport, Indiana. 1 count of obstruction of justice, a level 6 felony. 1 count of domestic battery, a class A misdemeanor. Yes, okay, and arrested and charges Kristen Muir, his mother, 38, Logansport, Indiana. 1 count of obstruction of justice, level 6 felony. The Indiana State Police received assistance from the Logansport Police Department, Cass County Sheriff's Office, and Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. This is an active criminal investigation, and as such, there's no further information to release at this time. So hopefully it's not a final update, just like at this time. ISB continues to encourage the public to come forward with any information they may have involving the incident with Bryson Muir by calling either the Peru Post at 800-382-0689 or 911. Under the law, criminal charges are merely accusations, and the defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. If you know anything about that Logansport compound, Straitway Truth Ministries, if you have horror stories, if you know of other people that are stuck in there that need to be rescued or whatever it is, if you have tips on Bryson's disappearance, if you know him, if you saw what happened, because all we know is that he disappeared from, he got picked up from his grandmother's house and like 4 minutes later, the vehicle got pulled over and only the mother was in the car. So Bryson, his dad, and some other unknown male, they were then obviously in another vehicle. You know what I mean? But that was one quick change. Also, I got some emails about this compound, about Daniel Muir's, the former NFL player's connections. And we've read before that there's other former retired NFL players that also joined this alleged cult, right? And one of them, what is his name? Matthias is his surname, I think. One of them is speculated to be the other unknown male in the vehicle because he's in many of the videos sitting right next to Daniel Muir. Okay, but that's just speculation. So then there's also this update from Shay, man. This picture, this makes me so sad. I hope that there will be consequences. I hope that there will be justice for Bryson. I'm so glad that he's alive, and they said he appeared to be well. Angela Ganote said, breaking news now, Indiana State Police raid the Straitway Goshen compound, that's what it's called, in Logansport, and found missing 14-year-old Bryson Muir. Someone also emailed me to say this Goshen word for locals could be confusing because it's not a location. It's called Straitway Goshen, and the Goshen in this context would be like a biblical word for them. Straitway Goshen in Logansport, Indiana. And then there's that other Straitway Truth Ministries in Tennessee as well. I really thought they're going to find him in Tennessee, but they actually found him in Logansport. So they say he's the son of former Colts player Daniel Muir. Bryson went missing soon after his grandmother contacted the police, concerned after seeing him with a black eye and swollen face. A silver alert was issued, and at one point, Daniel and Kristen Muir agreed to talk to police, but didn't show. Remember that? That was last Friday, depending on when you're watching this. They were supposed to meet with the police and show up with Bryson, and they just wouldn't. They just cancelled an hour before, which probably tells us that his face had not yet healed or he had more abuse done to him. Okay, so then here as well, let's quickly read through this one, which is an article from Fox 59. They give just a little bit more insight here, where they say Bryson Muir found parents in custody ISP searching compound, because they're going to show us pictures as well of the SWAT team. Oh my word, the SWAT team pulling in. So let me make it bigger for you. Logansport, Indiana. The 14-year-old son of a former Indianapolis Colts player has been found more than 2 weeks after his reported disappearance. Bryson Muir's parents are in custody, and several other people were detained on Wednesday in Cass County. This happened as Indiana State Police descended on a compound in Logansport in the search for the teen. 3 SWAT teams, detectives, K-9 units, and a bomb squad were prepared to search multiple buildings at the property owned by the Servant Leaders Foundation, a non-profit religious group. Investigators have secured search warrants for the compound. Officers from the Logansport Police Department and Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department were also at the scene. This was a big raid. Look at that. My word. Video showed multiple police cars at the location, along with an armored vehicle from IMPD. Bryson's parents, Daniel and Kristen Muir, were due in court on Tuesday, but didn't show up, leading ISP to prepare a large search effort Wednesday morning. So they were supposed to meet the police on Friday and also were supposed to be in court on Tuesday? That's 2 no-shows. Okay, case background. Before Wednesday's developments, Bryson had last been seen on June 16th. His grandmother, Cheryl Wright, said the teen may have been abused by his father, a former Indianapolis Colts defensive lineman. His great-grandmother actually emailed me. So if you're watching, I'm so glad that they found Bryson. Oh my goodness. Wright tipped off police about the possible abuse after finding her grandson with a black eye. He was last seen in Cleveland, Ohio. So I was very concerned because there was no alert in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, there was a statewide alert in Indiana, but not in Cleveland, Ohio, not in Tennessee. So I was just so glad they found him. Leaving with his mother, right, Kristen Muir, in a white 2015 Chevrolet Suburban. Wright told Fox 59, CBS 4 this weekend, that's the grandmother, that she contacted police and took a picture of her grandson's injuries. His face was battered. When I got him, he had a black eye and busted lip, Wright said. His whole face was swollen. I can only imagine how many times he'd been hit in the face for it to be like that. That is so sad. Bryson told her that his father was responsible for the injuries. He didn't reveal what led up to it. But of course, he said he deserved it, you know. Wright believes her grandson has been brainwashed by his parents and the religious group that they belong to. Police quickly found Bryson's mother and the Suburban, but the 14-year-old wasn't inside the vehicle, and that was within minutes of leaving the grandmother's house. If you want to know the whole story of, you know, how he ended up at the grandmother's house, how long he was there, who dropped him off, who picked him up, that's all in the episode that I have put in the description box for you. Okay, so the 14-year-old wasn't inside the vehicle. Investigators believe he may have been switched into another vehicle, which is so weird. If they did that, why did they do that? Do they know that the police might be onto them? You know, did the grandmother say, look, I'm going to call the police, so they made the switch? I don't know. Ongoing dispute, silver alert. For several days, investigators couldn't get a hold of Bryson's parents despite going to the family's home in Logansport multiple times. On June 27, there seemed to be a shift in the case, with Indiana State Police saying the Muirs were beginning to cooperate. But that optimism quickly dissipated. Daniel and Kristen Muir, through their lawyer, they lawyered up, had agreed to meet with police at the Peru Post on Friday. An hour before the scheduled meeting, they backed out, ISP said. The development led police to issue a statewide silver alert. The alert said Bryson was last seen on June 16th of 2024 at 7:53 a.m. He's 6'2", very tall 14-year-old. 185 pounds, obviously his dad's also tall, former NFL, with black hair and brown eyes, and was last known to be wearing an orange Under Armour shirt and blue jeans. There's also numbers where they had previously shared it. It's also still in the description box if you have any information to add to this, to add to the case. More on the Logansport property. Signs at the secluded Logansport property make no mention of the Servant Leaders Foundation, which records show is the registered owner of the property. But Daniel Muir bought the property in 2020 and sold it to the Servant Leaders Foundation. So he kind of owns it, you know what I mean? He's probably part of the board of the Servant Leaders Foundation and lives there, and there's a whole religious group there and all of that. So multiple signs say, "Welcome to Straitway, Indiana, Goshen," along with a crest. Other signs warn against trespassing and state that the location is private property. An internet search leads to Straitway Ministries, a Tennessee-based religious group that describes itself as a nation of Hebrew Israelites who are commandment keepers, obedient to Yah, God, and our Savior Jesus the Christ. The group's official YouTube page yes, they've got a YouTube page too, features a video from 4 years ago that shows a man appearing to be Daniel Muir preaching to a crowd. Some have described the group as a cult. Bryson's grandmother feared that her grandson was being brainwashed and couldn't bring himself to leave his parents. Coercive control, yes, and domestic violence. Bryson is so conditioned or brainwashed to their way of living that he wanted to go back, Wright said earlier this week. As I tried to get my daughter to leave, he ran out of the house and left with them. Probably out of fear. I think it would take one look at his dad and he'd be like, "Oh crap, I gotta go." It's for survival, right?
Zach and Angela, we have been told that Bryson Muir has been found. That's 14-year-old boy missing since June 16th when his grandmother first called police in the Cleveland area. We are here in Cass County, just outside Logansport. I want to give you a closer look at the investigation going on right now. We're on Sadler Hill Drive. This is just on the other side of US 24 west out of Logansport, where the Muir property is. We believe this to be a very large property. As you can see, this is 3 state police cars, 3 state police officers with large weapons. There's another state police officer off to my right over here that appears to be operating a drone, taking a look out over this property. We believe it to be a couple dozen acres back here from what we have been able to tell. We brought you here for the first time last Wednesday, a week ago, and gave you a view from the US 24, a gate there, a locked gate, big lock on it, several no trespassing signs, along with several homes on the property. This was when we had just been told of Bryson Muir's disappearance. 14-year-old here in Logansport, son of Daniel Muir, former Colts player, Kristen Muir, his mom. He was last seen by his grandma on June 16th. He was beaten and battered at the time, a black eye, a split lip, a swollen face. I talked to his grandma a few days ago. She told me he doesn't know how many times that boy had to have been hit for his face to look like that, and Bryson admitted that it was his father, Daniel Muir, who had hit him, and that has been the subject of this ISP work for the past week now, as they have tried to get a hold of these parents. It's been an unusual case. When you usually have a missing child, the parents are the biggest advocate trying to find their child. This time, the parents not helping. They had believed they had a meetup planned for Friday, as we do see ISP begin to get in their cars out here. Now, I was able to take a look around the bend as they have us back here at a safe distance. There was an armored SWAT vehicle inside, and we believe there to be dozens of officers combing this property right now, as they have got into custody the Muir parents, Daniel and Kristen, and they do have 14-year-old Bryson in custody. As we're told, I'm going to move out of the road here as we've got a state police vehicle coming past us. That's a Logansport police vehicle, actually. Angela and Zach, I'm going to throw it back to you. We're going to try and get more information. We're going to try and talk to state police on camera today to talk about this very large investigation going on behind us right now here in Cass County, just outside Logansport. You know, I've made a few calls this morning as we've gotten some of those reports from neighbors saying, hey, we're seeing, some people reported seeing as many 60 police cars gathering just a mile from this, prepared to do this. I can tell you that the other entrance to this compound off US 24, they have it blocked just off the highway that's probably just a few hundred yards behind us. So we came around here to the back entrance to give it a little bit better of a picture of what they're doing. I know this isn't much, but we're going to try and get you some more visuals. And there are houses around this. This is a more rural part of Logansport, but there certainly are some homes here. So we're going to try and talk to as many neighbors as we can. what we do know is the folks who live here, the Muirs, and we believe more people, are well known in this community.
Okay, so that's the news that we have about Bryson Muir. Unfortunately, I don't have any more information to share with you right now. But as soon as I do, I will update you. Please make sure you check out my community tab. Make sure you can navigate to find where that is. And check out my YouTube shorts, because oftentimes if there's like a quick update or something, I will update you there. I'm so glad that Bryson was found alive, that Bryson is actually doing okay. I don't know exactly in what condition he was found, but of course, for his parents and others to be arrested, I would imagine it's something like the picture on the right. I hope that he's doing okay. I hope that he can get mental health assistance, that his brothers are also okay, because he's got 2 other siblings, and, that everybody involved there at that compound and the others is doing okay. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, the DV distress signal, I share this in many live streams and videos, is like this. So if you see anyone doing this, maybe they're driving past you, in a car, and they just do this. You're like looking and you're like, what the hell are they doing? That's a DV distress signal. If you see someone at a cafe, at a restaurant, in public, at a bar, at a club, if you're delivering pizza and the person like grabs it and, okay, thank you. This is a DV distress signal. It means you need to call the police. They need assistance. Of course, read the room as well. Sometimes in like let's say a bar or something, you see someone doing that, you might want to walk up to them depending on the situation. You gotta be very careful, read the room. But sometimes I've seen examples of where someone does that and somebody understands what it means and they're like, oh crap, there was someone that makes them incredibly uncomfortable, right? So it's a distress signal designed as a DV, domestic violence distress signal, but also used as a general distress signal, right? So if someone's like, and they walk up to them and say, hey, I haven't seen you in ages, and just start talking to them and then like pull them away. Like, let's quickly go talk over there. We'll be right back. And then you find out more information and then call the police. Because sometimes it's something like, going on a blind date or something, and then it just turns out horrendous, scary. There was one story of a lady that got picked up by someone that she matched with on Tinder, a dating app. And then this guy drove her like 3 hours away, and she just so much wanted to get out of the car, said, turn around, take me back home. And he just refused. So she was sitting down at like this coffee shop, and she did that. And somebody was able to recognize what that was, walk up to her, say, hey, I haven't seen you in ages, and actually get her away from the guy for a bit. They called the police and he was arrested. So who knows what his intentions were. So I'm just saying, if Bryson was in a vehicle and if maybe he knew the signal, I don't know if he did or not, but let's say if he did, the more we teach people, the better, right? And he did that in the car, well, at least you will know what that means if you ever see that. And hopefully you'll teach it to many people who will also know what it means, because it could literally save a life. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.